Number 20. Great Dane at work.
Ooh.
In Oklahoma City, where crime rates run high, vigilance is a must. One afternoon, security footage captures a man arriving at a downtown apartment and entering through the side door. He's met by Dubai, a massive 122-pound Great Dane mix. The only issue? This isn't his home. Unknown to the intruder, the actual residents, a mother and her blind son, are just around the corner, unaware of the looming threat. The man tries to befriend Dubai, petting the big dog to gain his trust. And for a while, it seems to work. But then, Mom hears a noise and comes face to face with the stranger. Her scream pierces the air, and Dubai instantly switches to defense mode. He bites the uninvited guest, first in the rear and then goes for the head, fully intent on protecting his family. Terrified, the man bolts for the door as Dubai's growls echo behind him. The family secures the home and calls the police. Dubai, still on guard, continues barking, ready for another round.
You know, and Great Danes usually aren't very I wouldn't call them guard dogs. I mean, their size is kind of like a deterrent, but they're usually pretty gentle giants. But good for the Great Dane, man.
Thanks to swift action, the police apprehended
Too bad he couldn't catch
32-year-old
that guy
Robert
by the
Ward,
neck.
who was later convicted of second-degree burglary. Dubai? He's hailed as a true hero, protecting his loved ones against all odds. Number 19. Hobby steps in. With a remarkable act of heroism, a brave dog from France captured millions' hearts after thwarting an armed robber. The gripping incident took place at the store of David Bremond, where the security cameras caught every moment of the tense confrontation. Just as the robber, wielding a gun, threatened Bremond, hope seemed to fade until his loyal Belgian shepherd, Hobby, stepped in. 4-year-old Hobby, with fierce determination, charged at the intruder. The sudden attack startled the robber, who panicked and fled the scene. Hobby's bravery and quick response protected Bremond and showcased the strong bond between the two, built through years of training. This was no ordinary day for the duo, as Bremond had prepared Hobby for such moments through a year-long training program. However, it was the first time they faced a real threat, and Hobby passed the test with flying colors. Bremond, who had dealt with several robberies in the past, never expected his courageous companion would become a hero and an inspiration to many, showing the power of loyalty and protection in the face of danger. Number 18. Group of 3. A burglar sneaks into a house thinking he's about to score big. But instead of a silent job, he's met by a guard dog, eyes locked on him. He tries to hush the dog and make his way quietly, but the situation quickly spirals. The guard dog starts barking, alerting another dog from deeper into the house, and before the intruder can react, he's on the ground. The larger dog lunges, pinning him down while barking fiercely. Just when the burglar thinks he might have a chance to escape,
look, even the little one's chasing after him.
Smaller dog joins the action. Though small, this little dog's sharp barks add to the chaos. It roots for its bigger canine companions, bolstering their efforts. The intruder...
The little dog's like not even trying to get in. He's just like trying to coax him out. Like, yeah, rip his balls off. Get his balls. Get him in the neck.
Fights to escape, pushing the dogs away and fumbling with his clothes, but they refuse to back down. Each step he takes is met with relentless pursuit. It's a battle he can't win as the dogs, working as a team, keep him cornered. The once silent break-in attempt turns into a high-action chase, and in the end, it's clear that these dogs are the real protectors of the house. Number 17. Not today. In a dramatic confrontation, an intruder daringly leaps over a fence, only to be met by 2 fierce guard dogs. Without hesitation, the dogs spring into action. One of the dogs, particularly fearless and relentless, immediately takes charge, pursuing the intruder with unwavering determination. The intruder struggles desperately to fend.
Look, guys, I'm not a thief, okay? I don't rob people. But if I was going to be doing that shit, I think I would stake. I don't even think these guys are looking at where they're going. Like, how could they not? I would be staking the place out. Find out if they have animals, they got dogs. It's like these guys are just jumping in on a whim and they have no idea. It's stupid. Why would you even do that?
Off the relentless dog, but his efforts are futile. The second dog, equally fierce, clings onto the intruder's clothing, searching for an opportunity to intensify its assault. The intruder's primary concern is the unyielding dog, which poses the greatest threat. The battle between the intruder and the dogs escalates, with the scene eventually reaching the ground. In a determined effort, the fear
Speaking of, this reminds me, now that we're watching this, my one of our local Amazon drivers here where I'm at, he must have almost got his ass ate because on like I told you, I got a pit bull terrier mix and I got a pit Connie Corso mix. You know, and I have a gate, and on the gate it says, "Beware of dogs." Do you know this Amazon driver opened the gate to try to bring try to bring the package down the driveway? I didn't know this till later. I went outside and I found the package in the middle of the driveway because the apparently my two dogs were down further closer to the door. And once he got to the door and they chased him out, he went running. He didn't even shut the gate. He just dropped the package right where he was. He ran out the gate, didn't even close the gate. And I'm lucky my dogs didn't go out and bite somebody because he left the gate wide open. But they didn't leave the property, which I was really surprised. But yeah, I mean, if it says beware of dog, believe there's a dog there somewhere. Just because you can't see it, it's probably there.
fearless dog tugs at the intruder's pullover, leaving him in a desperate scramble for escape. However, the resilient dog
But yeah, my
forcefully
Amazon
pins him
driver,
down, preventing
he
any
almost
chance
got
of
bit,
fleeing. Despite the attempts of
apparently.
onlookers who throw buckets of water over the fence to disperse the dog, it remains undeterred, continuing its relentless assault. The whereabouts of the second dog become unclear, but there are no visible injuries to either the dog or the intruder. The scene concludes with the man still firmly pinned to the ground, held at bay by the determined and unyielding dog. Number
Yeah, he ain't gonna
16,
let that dude go.
wrong move. After this thief broke into this house and gathered his loot, he probably thought he was in the clear, but just as he tried to sneak away, the homeowner spotted him and gave chase. The thief panicked, scrambling onto the roof to escape. The determined homeowner followed closely behind, not willing to let him get away so easily. In a desperate move, the thief jumped from the roof into the next compound, hoping to evade
shit.
capture. But what awaited him was far worse than he expected. Two well-trained guard dogs were already there, ready
Dude.
for action.
That's karma right there. And sometimes karma will hit you immediately. See, he got karma immediately. But I'm a firm believer in that. The universe will punish you for anything you've done wrong to somebody else. I've witnessed this. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Hold on. You know what? My chat might be fucked up. Let me look here real quick. No, my chat's not fucked up. Okay. Anyways, what was I talking about now? Oh, okay. So, damn it, what the hell was I saying? I seen something pop up on my screen and I was like, shit. Anyways, oh yeah, about karma. Okay. So, yeah, the universe will punish you. It could be immediate. It's going to be months from now, or it could even be years from now. But you will have to pay for whatever you've done to somebody else. I've witnessed it. I've had it happen to me, and I've witnessed it happen to other people. You will pay for it sometimes immediately, kind of like in this case. This dude got it immediately. He got
As
karma
soon as the
instant.
thief landed, the dogs attacked. One clamped down on his leg, while the other went for his upper body, bringing him to the ground with force. After minutes of struggling, the thief tried to grab a nearby pipe to defend himself, but it was no use.
That
The
ain't gonna
dogs were
help.
relentless, overpowering him. Meanwhile, the homeowner stayed on the roof, watching the chaos unfold below.
Yeah,
He
he's
waited
like, "This
until
is
the
great."
dog's owner and the police arrived to ensure the thief had no chance of escaping. The guard dogs had done their job, and
Good
the
job.
thief was finally caught. Number 15, Burbull on guard. One evening, a burglar thought he found the perfect moment to sneak into a terrace house while the owner was away. Confidently, he peered out of the spare room window, unaware that danger was rapidly approaching. A Burbull, a large, powerful dog with a strong bone structure and impressive muscles, was silently closing in on him. Breaking into this house turned out to be a terrible mistake. The Burbull wasted no time and launched a fierce attack on the intruder. The man had no chance to escape and was completely overwhelmed by the dog's strength. Desperately, he threw punches, causing some injuries to the dog, but the beer bowl refused to back down.
Yeah,
When the
fuck
owner
that
returned
dude.
home, she was met with the chaotic scene and quickly called the police and an ambulance. The dog's brave actions earned it admiration from the neighborhood, with many hailing the beer bowl as a local hero for defending the home so fiercely.
Yeah, that's a dog I wouldn't want to
This
mess
dog,
with.
once just a loyal companion, became the pride of the community. Number 14. Little Hero. Don't judge a book by its cover. This old saying vividly comes to life in a remarkable tale of an intruder and a guard dog. Picture a disheveled man, cloaked in worn, shabby clothing, creeping into the backyard of a seemingly unoccupied house. His eyes dart around with cautious anticipation, knowing full well that a dog might be lurking somewhere. As he cautiously approaches what appears to be an old dog cage, he scans the area, convinced that the coast is clear. Satisfied, he slips closer to the house, eager to make his way inside. With stealthy movements,
I hope
he
the little
unlocks
dude
the
bites him
door
in the
and
nuts.
steps into the house, believing his invasion to be successful. However, just as his foot crosses the threshold, a scene unfolds that turns his bravado into a frantic scramble. A small, unassuming dog, no larger than a loaf of bread, erupts from the shadows. This pint-sized protector, with a heart as fierce as a lion's, charges at the intruder with astonishing
scared of that little
determination.
dog? He
The
probably-
intruder, caught off guard by the unexpected ferocity of his tiny adversary, dashes back toward the
He probably
backyard.
could have
In a
punted that
comical
thing
twist
and
of
kicked
fate,
it.
he leaps over the fence with a speed and agility that matches his fear. The tiny dog, undeterred and resolute, continues its chase, a valiant defender in its own right. The sight of such a minuscule creature sending an intruder fleeing is both hilariously unexpected and endearing.
Good
This scene
job.
serves as a powerful
Little
reminder
dude.
that courage and valor come in all sizes,
Even though he
and
coulda kicked-
sometimes
he
the
probably
most
coulda
unlikely
punted that
heroes
thing
are the
across the
ones who make
yard.
the biggest impact. Number 13. Brave Dobermans. It was
Yeah,
just
don't
another
fuck with
ordinary day
Dobermans,
for
man.
Grandpa as he returned home after cashing his paycheck. But that day quickly turned dangerous when a white sedan suddenly blocked his way. Two shady men emerged, brandishing a gun and demanding his hard-earned cash. Unknown to them, however, Grandpa's granddaughter was on high alert. She had been stationed at the gate with her two loyal
let
Dobermans,
the dogs out.
ever
There
vigilant
you go.
guardians of their family's safety. Just as she was about to open the gate, she saw the robbers dragging her grandpa out of his SUV. Her heart raced, but she acted swiftly. Trying to close the gate, she watched in relief as her fearless Dobermans sprang into action.
Yep.
With
go
a
get 'em.
powerful rush, they tackled the would-be thieves, their protective instincts fully engaged. The robbers were overwhelmed by the swift and determined response of these heroic dogs. The family could count their blessings that day,
Dude,
not
that's
only
why
for the safety of Grandpa, but also for their
that's why I got dogs, man. Now I wasn't a big fan of pits. I was always against pits, but one of them, one of them I got as a free gift. I was reluctant to take it, but it was given to me as a Christmas gift. That was the one that was the pit bull terrier, and I love pits now. Even though they're not full-blooded pits, they're pit bull terrier and pit Connie Corso mix. Once I went ahead and got the pit Connie Corso mix because I wanted they're both female. I wanted them to have, companions so they wasn't just by themselves, especially like during the day if I got to work or whatever. But shit, I love pits, man. I don't think I would have anything else. And I think they get a bad rap. I think it just depends on, now I've always had dogs, but I've never had pits or like Rottweilers. I was always against those type breeds. Like the dogs I always had, I don't even know if you'd call them guard dogs. Like I had Australian Shepherd, had a Border Collie. Um, I did have one. I did have a Shepherd before them, but I was always against like the big powerhouse breeds. But I don't think I would have anything else, man. Them dogs would die for you. I mean, they would kill somebody for you. I mean, you're not gonna find any more loyalty. You're not gonna find that kind of loyalty in a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever you're fucking into, or your partner. You're not gonna find that kind of loyalty except for in a dog, especially a powerhouse breed. Man, they will guard you to the death, man. And I tell you what, man, if anybody was to shoot one of my dogs, I'd probably end up in jail. They'd have to kill me. I think they would.
courageous pups. It's a timeless reminder that dogs truly are humans' best friend, ready to stand guard and protect those they love at any cost. Number 12. Take me to the hospital. In Teresina, Brazil,
Take
an
me to the
experienced
hospital.
thief learned the hard way that not every heist goes as planned. Known for stealing from homes in his neighborhood, this particular night took a humiliating turn. Sneaking into a house while the residents slept, he thought it was business as usual, until he felt a sharp pain on his arm. The culprit had been caught off guard by the family's loyal guard dog, who
Ooh,
wasted no time defending its territory.
yeah,
In a
fuck
bizarre
fuck
twist,
that
the
dude.
robber, clearly in pain, called for help, shouting at the homeowners, "Your dog is biting me! Take me to the hospital!"
No
Startled
shit.
by the intruder's brazen request,
No, if somebody broke into my house and my two dogs got a hold of him, I don't even think I'd call the cops. I'd let them just probably fucking chew him until he's dead, and then I'd call the cops. Maybe that's wrong, but dude, you ain't supposed to be in my house, and I damn sure ain't taking you to the hospital. No, fuck that.
the homeowners quickly rushed to their kitchen to investigate. Instead of offering aid, they chased the thief out of the house. Their brave dog had done its job, delivering a well-deserved bite to the arm of the would-be burglar.
Good job.
Number 11. Burglary foiled. In the dead of night, a would-be intruder decided to scale a wall, hoping to sneak into an unsuspecting home. As he grabbed onto the clothesline for balance, his stealthy approach quickly turned into panic. From out of the shadows, two fierce dogs appeared, barking furiously and charging straight at him. One white dog lunged at his leg, sinking its teeth in, while the second dog joined the attack, pinning him down with relentless force. The intruder was no match for these determined guard dogs. He struggled to free himself, but their grip was unyielding. Every attempt to shake them off only seemed to fuel their aggression as they held him in place, protecting their territory with loyalty and ferocity.
Yeah,
This
I don't think
intense
a Dachshund
scene
is
shows the
gonna do
power
very
of a
much.
well-trained guard dog team, reminding us just how effective canine companions can be.
I'll tell you this right now. I don't have a Dotson currently, but I did have a Dotson, and they're not much of a guard dog. Yeah, you could punt them across the room if somebody wanted to be malicious. You know what I mean?
When it comes to home security. The intruder certainly got more than he bargained for. A harsh lesson that breaking into someone's home isn't worth the risk. Number 10. Don't come close. Imagine a quiet evening in a South African neighborhood, suddenly interrupted by the high-stakes drama of a burglary in progress. Four intruders silently slip into a house, their every move captured on camera. But their plan starts to unravel when they encounter an unexpected obstacle. A determined team of dogs inside. The scene
Yeah,
unfolds
get
as
'em.
the burglars try to break in, but their stealthy efforts are met with the piercing bark of a vigilant guard dog. The noise is more than just an annoyance, it's a beacon of alert. The homeowners, fully aware of the situation unfolding outside, have complete faith in their canine protectors.
Heck yeah.
These aren't just any dogs, they're highly trained Rottweilers.
And you know another reason why I got the pits that I got now is when I had so recently my Australian Shepherd and my Border Collie that I had after 12, they were both I think 13 years old, but they both passed away. But people, they weren't much of guard dogs, and the kids were going by and they were throwing glass bottles at these dogs, throwing rocks at them. I'd watch them do it, and but these dogs, they didn't have like a mean bone in their body, you know. So it was funny watching them same kids when once I put them two out there, the two I got now, and they went by there and they realized them two dogs wasn't there anymore. And dude, they won't even walk on that sidewalk anymore because these two are so vicious. And they'll actually cross the street now. The ones that were throwing the bottles at my other two, they actually cross the street and then go past the house, which is great. Which is another reason why I would have a powerhouse breed. If you're gonna have a dog, you need to get a guard dog. Because if you get one that's not really a guard dog, man, some of these kids are just they're malicious, man. They were throwing glass bottles at them, rocks. You know, I was always trying to catch them when they do it, but I would know when they would do it though, because there'd be bottles and shit all in the yard. I'd have to go pick up. It's crazy.
Part of a rapid response unit ready for such emergencies. As the dog's barking intensifies, the burglars' carefully crafted operation begins to crumble. The sound draws unwanted attention from neighboring homes, jeopardizing their plan and risking exposure. With the situation spiraling out of
You know what I say? I say having a guard dog, a true guard dog, whether it's a pit, Cane Corso, Rottweiler, Doberman, is almost like having a gun you can pet. That's what I call it, a gun you can pet.
control, and the intruders realizing their cover is blown, they make a hasty retreat. In the end, it's clear that sometimes the most reliable security system comes with a wagging tail and a fierce bark. Number 9, never return. In the middle of the night, an intruder silently slips into a backyard, unaware that 2 vigilant German shepherds are on high alert.
Yeah, don't
These
fuck with
noble
them either.
guardians trained to protect immediately sense an
why the
intruder's
police
presence
use
and
them.
spring into action. Their growls and barks pierce the stillness of the night, startling the thief who finds himself suddenly engulfed in fear. Desperate for help, the intruder cries out, hoping someone will come to his rescue. Meanwhile,
ain't
the
nobody gonna help
homeowner,
him.
awakened by the commotion, rushes outside to confront the chaotic scene. He swiftly gains control of the agitated dogs, who reluctantly return to their watchful positions. Despite the temporary reprieve from the dogs, the intruder is in a state of sheer panic, pleading for the homeowner to get the dogs away from him. In his frantic state, the intruder scrambles to escape, his cries of terror echoing as he rushes out of the yard. Although he manages to flee without physical harm, he is profoundly shaken by the intense experience. The homeowner, now calm and collected, tosses the thief's scattered belongings back at him with a stern warning: never return. The intruder, trembling and disoriented, hurries to his car, desperate to escape the haunting memory of his
Nah, screw that. If they come in my yard, I'm not getting even attempting to get my dogs off of them until I see blood. No, I want to see blood. Fuck. If they're not bleeding, they're not coming off. I mean, they're not going to learn a lesson. If they're not injured, they're not going to learn a lesson. They're just going to keep doing this stupid shit.
near miss with danger. Number 8, German shepherds on guard. Late one night in India, 2 men were caught in the act of trying to break into a house. They silently scaled the fences, hoping their stealthy approach would go unnoticed. But their plans were thwarted by an unexpected hero: the homeowner's German shepherds. With their keen instincts, the dogs immediately sensed the danger and started barking loudly. Their sharp, relentless barks cut through the stillness of the night, alerting the entire neighborhood to the intruder's presence. The would-be thieves, realizing their plans were in jeopardy, quickly abandoned their mission. They fled the scene before anyone inside the house could wake up or take further action. The German shepherd's vigilance and bravery had
At least they
protected their
weren't
home,
stupid enough to jump
demonstrating
in
the
there.
vital role that well-trained guard dogs play in safeguarding their families. Their timely intervention not only prevented a potential break-in, but also showcased the remarkable bond between humans and their loyal canine companions. Good job, buddy. Number 7.
Hell yeah.
Midnight intruders. On what seemed like a peaceful night, a quiet house lay shrouded in darkness, the kind of night where everything feels serene, until the unexpected happened. As the moon cast its gentle glow, 2 figures wandered casually near the property. Their relaxed stroll gave no hint of the trouble they were brewing. A third person soon joined them, and then a fourth, each appearing to be just out for a late-night walk. But their suspicious glances and sporadic whispers started to paint a different picture. The group, now 4 strong, moved towards the side of the house with a newfound urgency. It became clear they had a purpose when 2 of them began scaling the wall. They perched at the top, debating their next move,
I hope
while
they
another
jump
member
in.
approached the main gate, and 1 more had already slipped inside the property. The tranquility of the night was about to be shattered. Just as the intruders made their move, a German shepherd patrolling the yard perked up, alerted by the commotion. The dog, keen and vigilant,
they didn't
quickly
jump in.
spotted one of the intruders and sprang into action. His bark, initially a cautious alert, soon escalated into
I
a
wanted to see
deafening
him get a hold of
roar.
him.
The intruder, startled and disoriented, fled from the scene. The barking, relentless and piercing, echoed through the night, waking up the entire neighborhood. The intruders on the wall, now trapped and panicked, were unable to make their escape while the loyal dog continued his fierce defense. Realizing their plan had been thwarted, the crew of 4 scrambled away, vanishing into the night as the German Shepherd's unwavering vigilance ensured their mischief was put to a swift end.
So I'm
Number
saying,
6,
you
in the
gotta
wrong
have at least
house.
one guard dog.
On what would turn out to be the worst day of his life, an intruder sneaked into a property guarded by 2 formidable dogs.
Yeah, I want to know what that
He
guy
managed
said.
to get past the initial security, but the real challenge awaited him inside. The moment the dogs spotted him, they charged with a ferocity that left no doubt about their training. Their powerful jaws clamped down on him, the intruder's cries for help echoing in vain. The homeowner, calm and unbothered, stood by with a camera, capturing every moment of this dramatic encounter.
That's exactly what I would do. This dude is not supposed to be in my property anyways. I'm not helping him. He put himself in this situation. He can get himself out of it. I want to see some blood. I'm going to get me a camera. I'm going to film this thing, grab some popcorn and watch. Yeah, it's exactly what I would do.
It was clear he wanted the intruder to remember this lesson. The dogs, proficient in their role, tore at his trousers and held him fast.
Oh my god. You can see his butt. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's great. I wonder if they got a piece of his ass too.
Their grip unyielding.
Oh!
In a desperate bid to escape, the intruder scrambled up a short fence. But the dogs were undeterred, their reach extending even to this makeshift barrier. Realizing his options were dwindling, he clambered up a nearby tree, hoping the height would provide safety. However, the dog's determination remained unshaken, and they circled the base, waiting for his next move. His predicament now seemed like a waiting game. Would the homeowner show mercy, or would he wait for the police to arrive? The dogs, steadfast in their duty, were not leaving their post. For the intruder, it was a matter of time before his ill-fated adventure came to an end, either through the homeowner's intervention or the arrival of law enforcement. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, where the most excitement usually came from lawnmower races, something unusual was brewing. An extravagant estate, known for its opulent gardens and grand parties, had recently installed a state-of-the-art security system. But it wasn't the technology that captured everyone's attention. It was the 3 formidable guard dogs that patrolled the grounds. One crisp autumn night, under a shroud of fog, a trio of burglars decided the estate was ripe for the picking. They were seasoned thieves, notorious for slipping past the tightest security. Tonight, they were confident that nothing could stand in their way, not even the supposed ferocity of the estate's guard dogs. The thieves, clad in black and armed with lock-picking tools, crept across the lawn, their eyes set on the glittering treasures inside. They had barely made it past the first set of cameras when the dogs, 2 German Shepherds and a Doberman, took notice. With their sharp noses and even sharper instincts, the dogs were ready for action. The Shepherds were the first to spring into action. The Doberman followed close behind. They didn't bark. Instead, they moved with a silent precision, surrounding the intruders. The thieves froze as the dogs closed in. Fear quickly replaced their bravado. They attempted to flee, but the dogs were too quick. The scene was chaotic, growling and the clinking of tools dropping to the ground. By the time the authorities arrived, the burglars were cornered and thoroughly owned by the guard dogs. The headline the next day read,
"Good for them.
Thieves who got owned by guard dogs," much to the delight of the neighborhood. As the burglars were led away, one bystander asked what made them think they could outsmart a pack of elite guard dogs. Number 5, caught between. In a gripping video that has captured the attention of viewers, we witness an intense confrontation between an intruder and 2 fierce guard dogs. Despite the man's attempts to evade the aggressive canines, he finds himself in an increasingly precarious situation. The footage, likely recorded by vigilant homeowners, reveals a dramatic standoff that unfolds with breathtaking intensity. The intruder, having tried to breach an apartment within the home, encounters the relentless guardians of the property. These determined dogs, undeterred by the man's height or stature, position themselves as formidable barriers. Trapped between the 2 fierce animals, the man is left with no clear path of escape. His dilemma is stark: descend and face the imminent attack from one dog, or cling desperately to the unyielding iron door behind him, a position that offers little comfort and even less safety. As the standoff escalates, it becomes clear that the intruder is completely surrounded. Every move he makes is closely
Yeah, he's
scrutinized
got
by the
one on the
onlookers,
inside
who
and
are
one on
likely
the
the
outside.
homeowners themselves. The tension in the video builds as the intruder's options narrow, and it's evident that his situation is becoming increasingly desperate. The relentless vigilance of the guard dogs and the strategic decision of the homeowners ensure that the intruder is apprehended, bringing a dramatic end to this heart-pounding encounter. Number 4. Reckless intrusion. Only God knows what was going through the intruder's mind when he boldly attempted to breach a protected premises. His overconfidence, however, quickly turned into a stark lesson in reality. The moment he crossed the threshold, he found himself face to face with 2 massive boar bulls, renowned for their imposing presence and fierce loyalty. These dogs were not merely pets, but seasoned protectors, trained to handle such situations with precision. As the intruder approached, the boar bulls sprang into action with impressive speed and determination. The intruder, clearly experienced in encounters with dogs, dropped to the ground, lying face down to shield his vital organs. His attempt to mitigate the threat was a testament to his past run-ins with similar situations. Yet the boar bulls' response was swift and assertive. Their barks echoed through the premises, a clear signal of their protective instincts. If it hadn't been for the rapid intervention of the security personnel, this intruder would have faced a far graver outcome. The team acted with efficiency, swiftly taking control of the situation and ensuring the intruder could no longer pose a threat. Number 3. Jewelry shop guard. In the heart of a bustling jewelry shop, a tense scene unfolded as a man with a sneaky air entered the
That reminds me, there's a pawn shop here locally where I'm at
store.
that does exactly that. He's got 2 dogs that stay up there, and they're actually very friendly. They'll come up to you and you can pet them. One of them is actually a pit, and the other one is like I don't know, he's just like a mix of something. But if you were to like break something or even go at the guy that owns the place, I bet you they'd tear you up in a microsecond, man. But yeah, he's got 2 dogs that stay right there in the store.
His unease was palpable, and it became clear why when he spotted the large, imposing guard dog near the counter. The dog, with its keen eyes and muscular frame, was a formidable deterrent. As the man approached the counter, the dog, clearly trained for protection, attempted to jump over, but its efforts fell short. Its owner, guiding the dog with practiced precision, maneuvered the animal around the counter to confront the intruder directly. The man's fear escalated as the dog lunged at him with intense ferocity. Panic set in as the man recoiled, but the guard dog was relentless. It clamped down on the man's hand with a grip that spoke volumes of its training and determination. The owner, visibly distressed, rushed to regain control of the situation, but the dog's focus remained unwavering. The man's thick jacket provided a crucial layer of protection, sparing him from more severe injuries. The scene was a dramatic reminder of the guard dog's purpose, to safeguard and protect. Its fierce loyalty and skillful handling were on full display. Despite the chaotic encounter, the incident ended with the intruder subdued, showcasing the guard dog's dedication to its duty and the effectiveness of its training. Number 2. A timely intervention. In a quiet corner of the neighborhood, 2 suspicious-looking men on a motorcycle approached a large, seemingly abandoned building. The gate was wide open, and they saw it as an opportunity. Their plan was simple: take whatever they could grab. As they made their way inside, their movements were being silently captured on surveillance cameras. One of the men reached out for some clothing hanging on a line, unaware of the guard.
With social media and everything that's going on now, it's almost hard to be a criminal anymore. Like there's cameras everywhere. Everybody's got cameras on their phones. Everybody can film on their phones. It's like, you know, why even bother? Why even try? You're going to get caught. I mean, I don't know. It's just stupid. I mean, shit. I've been broke many a times, but I'm not going to go out and try to rob and steal from people. Shit.
Guardian patrolling the premises. Suddenly, a vigilant guard dog sprang into action. With a thunderous bark and a fierce charge, the dog charged at the intruders. Its sudden appearance and aggressive stance sent shivers down the thieves' spines. In a panic, they scrambled to escape, realizing their plan was falling apart. The motorcycle roared to life as the men made a hasty retreat, leaving in a cloud of dust. Despite their swift exit, One of the men managed to snatch a few items from the line before disappearing, but the real victory belonged to the courageous dog. Its timely intervention and protective instincts had successfully sent the thieves running. Number 1. Backyard thieves. In a thrilling turn of events, two men found themselves in a precarious situation when they ventured into a backyard, believing they had stumbled upon an easy opportunity. Their every move was being captured by a surveillance camera, which had recorded them spotting an invitingly open door. Unknown to them, their seemingly golden chance was about to turn into a nightmare. The men hadn't noticed the vigilant guard dog, who had already caught wind of the intruder's unfamiliar scent.
Right behind them.
With a keen sense of duty and an alertness that only a trained canine can possess, the dog sprang into action. An authoritative bark echoed through the air, sending an unambiguous message: "Stay away." The sudden and intense presence of the dog threw the two men into a panic. Their confidence evaporated in an instant as they realized the gravity of their mistake. Without a second thought, they turned and fled, their footsteps echoing their urgent need to escape. Their decision to bolt was undoubtedly wise, as any delay could have turned their ill-fated foray into a much messier situation. Meanwhile, the homeowner's whereabouts remained unknown, but the men had no time to consider this. Their sole focus was on evading any potential confrontation with the determined dog or its owner. Which of these incredible stories of thieves getting outsmarted by guard dogs surprised you the most? Share your thoughts.
Dude, I recommend everybody get a freaking guard dog. You need at least one, two preferably, so they have a buddy. But yeah, man, jeez, fuck those guys. Killers getting attacked in court. Yes, let's see some courtroom justice.
This is the exact moment two brothers attacked their mother's killer in court.
Victim's son. Yeah, beat the shit out of him. Fuck him.
And this is just one of the 20 cases we'll be covering in this video of killers getting attacked in court.
Dude, if somebody killed my mother, they're gonna have to put me in jail. They're gonna have to. I would do the exact same thing. Or if somebody killed my daughter, I'd be there in the courtroom. I want blood. They should make it mandatory that if you have a family member that was murdered, that you should be able to be locked into a room with them for at least 5 minutes, and they have to have. We don't even want it to be a fair fight. Put them in freaking handcuffs, have them chained up, and just beat the shit out of them for 5 minutes. And if you kill them, you kill them. If they live, they live. That would be the right justice. I mean, our justice system is corrupt anyways. I mean, it's crazy. You got some people that do like one murder, they get 5 years. Then you get one person that does like 10 murders and he gets 30, which is okay. But I mean, like the numbers are never consistent. You can have somebody that does more crimes and gets less time and then you'd have somebody that gets like a marijuana charge and gets 30 years. It's crazy.
Starting with the case of Vashon Flowers.
Yeah, somebody. Dang.
This is Vashon Flowers, who's on trial for murder in Muskegon County, Michigan. According to
Dude, that dude jumped over like Superman.
Reports in May 2019, Flowers shot and killed his wife, Jamie, at their home after an argument over cigarettes. Initially, they argued for more than a day, after which police arrived and separated the two.
Got killed over
Flowers
cigarettes.
left, but hours later he returned, kicked in the door, and shot Jamie 4 times. The 46-year-old then turned himself in and was charged with open murder. In court, Jamie's daughter Paris, who witnessed the whole incident, testified.
He got down on the ground and started choking my mother. Actually, I heard, "You don't have to do this, Vashon. Please don't do this. You don't have to do this." And then I heard gunshots.
Damn.
Bullet holes in her shirt and blood.
But it was Jamie's son who decided to take matters into his own hands.
And he leaped over like Superman. Man, he didn't even
During
get
a hearing,
to him.
21-year-old London
Dude, if I was one of them court cops or security guards or whatever they are, I would hesitate. I'd give like about a 20-second. If I seen him jump over, I wouldn't even try to intervene for about 20, 30 seconds. Let him get a few hits in on him. Yeah, I mean, I would do the same thing, man. I would do the exact same
Jones
thing.
was seated in the gallery with the rest of his siblings when suddenly he leaped over the barricade and headed straight towards his mother's killer. Alert deputies were able to tackle him just in the nick of time. Eventually, the grieving son was restrained and taken out of the courtroom. After the dust settled, Flowers was convicted of Jamie's murder and sentenced to life in prison. While
just
LaShawn
kill
Flowers
him.
faced his
Why
son's
waste
fury,
the money?
what happens when a killer gets attacked by the victim's brother? Like in the case of 33-year-old Jeffrey Clark, who's facing first-degree premeditated murder charges in Fraser, Michigan. On July 4th, 2022, Clark shot and killed 28-year-old Jeray Robertson in execution style after chasing him down an apartment complex parking lot.
This was an execution. Just wasn't a murder, an execution.
A doorbell camera captured the moment Robertson was shot. Clark was arrested after an ankle monitor he was wearing placed him at the crime scene.
Your Honor, at the time, the defendant had a tether on his ankle. We do have the tether records that place him at that location at that time.
At his trial, Clark's girlfriend testified that the defendant
Talk about stupidity. You're already out on bond. You're on probation and you're wearing an ankle monitor. Then you go somewhere to kill somebody and you got the ankle monitor on you. It tells you exactly where you're at. So stupid.
threatened her after the shooting.
He proceeded to tell me that he would kill me if I told on him. He told me that Mr. Robertson begged for his life and that the only thing he was worried about was that he was on tether.
However, when the prosecution played a video showing the judge and family members how Robertson was executed, the courtroom exploded.
I bet it fucking did. Dude, let him get some wax on him, man.
Man, they gonna see you.
Sitting in the
And let me get, he only got life, right? Or was that the other guy? But still, man, it's like, why you gotta kill somebody, man? Unless they're like an intruder, I understand. If they break into your house, yeah. But just to be going out killing people? Come on.
gallery watching his brother begging for his life was Robertson's twin, Jerry, who got into a brawl with the defendant.
You still shooting. He on the ground already. You still shooting. You begging you not to kill this man.
Jerry also clashed with Clark's father, who was
Man,
upset his killer
fuck
son
that guy.
got punched.
You hit him. Man, he killed us. Put him in there with myself.
Go ahead.
Put him in there.
That's down, man. Come on.
Knock it off.
That's down. That's down.
After order was restored,
Man, fuck that dad. That dad, I think that's the dad of the dude that killed that guy. No, if my son had done that or my daughter had done that, no, I'm not backing them up. I'll back my family members 100% in like 99% of cases. But if they were to do something like what he did, nah, man, I can't do it.
Clark was convicted of first-degree murder, felony firearm, and felon in possession of a firearm, and was sentenced to life in prison with no hope for
God,
parole.
just
While Jeffrey Clark
put him
was
on
punched
death
in the
row,
face by
man.
his victim's
Kill him.
twin brother, what happens when a victim's father attacks the defendant?
He's staring at him.
Like in the case of 39-year-old Michael Madison, who's on trial for
Well, he went leaping like Superman.
multiple murders in Ohio. In 2023, Madison allegedly kidnapped and killed Angela Deskins, Shatisha Sheely, and Sherelda Terry before dumping their bodies in plastic bags near his home in East Cleveland. Police also found decomposed human remains at his apartment.
His front door is boarded up, and investigators tell me when they went inside, they discovered a grisly scene. You can see an unmade bed, boxes.
There was evidence of decomposition fluid in several parts of the apartment building. There were maggots that were attached to the decomposition fluid.
Madison was arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder. If convicted, he could be facing...
Do you know what would stop a lot of this crap? And I think people would be on board for
death penalty.
Oh, my bad. I think whatever crime somebody commits, their punishment is they have to die the same way that they killed their victims. So let's just say, for example, I don't know exactly what he did, but let's just say, for example, he shot and killed those girls, and then he chopped up their body parts and then maybe burned them, okay? I think the family members, because the family members are the ones that are going to be the most hurt by the situation, I think they should have the opportunity to do exactly the same thing to him that he did to his victims. So if they want to kill him, chop him up, and burn him, I think they should be able to. And I think if you started letting people do that, a lot of this shit would taper down because they know whatever they're going to do is going to happen to them. I think it would make a lot of this stuff go away.
Anything to say to Anthony Sowell? We hear that you're a fan of his.
At his trial, the defense claimed the murders were spontaneous and in the heat of the moment.
What we have, ladies and gentlemen, is an equal plausible explanation that each one of these individuals was killed with a sudden eruption of violence. He made no effort to bury these bodies and really conceal them, despite the fact that they're in fairly obvious areas.
However, the prosecution argued that Madison's actions were calculative and premeditated.
He killed them in the same way, at the same place, and in a short time frame. Then he disposed of their bodies to avoid detection from his crimes. He tied 2 of the victims up with duct tape, placing their legs on each side of their head and bending the body in half.
Eventually, Madison was found guilty of all charges as the victims' family members cried tears of joy. During sentencing, Sherelda's father, Van Terry, addressed his daughter's killer.
Right now, in our hearts, forgive this crime. Who's touched our families, taken our child.
He looked straight at Madison, who grinned at him off camera. This is when Terry exploded.
Man, let him get some hits in.
Fortunately, Terry was quickly apprehended and taken out of the courtroom. He did not face any additional charges. A short while later, Judge Nancy McDonnell addressed the court.
I am struck by the sheer inhumanity of what one human being can do to not one, but 3 human beings.
She called the murders an act of sheer inhumanity.
You went on to abuse the corpses of these 3 victims.
Chop him up.
You stripped them from the waist down. You folded them in half.
Finally, it was time for the serial killer to learn his sentence.
Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison, on counts 1, 4, and 7.
Ultimately, Michael Madison received the death penalty. He will live on Ohio's death row. While Van Terry's courtroom week was truly spectacular, what happens when a convict gets attacked by 2 grieving sons?
You know, a lot of times, and that's the bad thing, man. A lot of times they'll sit on death row for 15 or 20 years, and then right when it's about their time, they'll like appeal somehow, and they'll get it changed to like life without parole. It's like, no, man. I think once the sentence is there and there's plenty of evidence to show, because I do know some innocent people end up on death row. I don't know how many, but I don't think they should sit there for 15, 20 years and then get life without parole. If they're sentenced to death, kill them. Be done with it. I mean, why are we wasting money? Well, you see, I can't be mad at her, man. You see that kind of rage? That would be the same kind of rage I'd be in if somebody killed one of my family members. They'd have to arrest me, man. I would probably kill that person if I could get a hold of them.
Like in the case of Dale Williams, who's facing murder charges in Youngstown, Ohio. In June 2017, Williams ran his ex-girlfriend Elizabeth Pledger Stewart's car off the road, causing it to crash. He then shot and killed the 46-year-old mother of two. After his arrest, Williams pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and weapons charges. Facing the possibility of life in prison, the 62-year-old appeared at his sentencing, where the victim's two sons decided to deliver some justice of their own.
Yeah, beat the shit out of him.
30-year-old Anthony Dees jumped across the table, evaded deputies.
I'm glad they got some hits in on him, man. I think they should be able to put him in a room shackled up like that and let the two sons be able to just beat on him for 5 minutes. And if he's still alive, he lives. If he's dead, he's dead. I would be doing the same thing, man. I can't knock him. I would be doing the same thing.
And dragged Williams down by his feet. Then, 23-year-old Jerome Stewart ran over to help his brother, and the two delivered a barrage of punches and kicks to the defendant.
Yes. Oh, he got tasered.
Deputies struggled to contain the brothers. One officer pulled out a taser gun and shot Stewart. Williams was safely escorted from the courtroom as he wiped the blood off his face. Finally, the two aggrieved sons were arrested and taken out of the courtroom. They later faced charges of assault, contempt of court, and obstruction of justice. As for Williams, a week later, he was sentenced to 23 years to life in prison for the murder of his ex-girlfriend. While Dale Williams was viciously attacked by the sons of the woman he murdered, what happens when a father cannot control his emotions in court?
Back off, back off, back off, back off, back off.
Like in the case of Lindy Jones, who is accused of murdering a teenager in Orangeburg County, South Carolina. In August 2019, Jones and his brother Jay Lynn reportedly shot 18-year-old Willie Fields Jr. multiple times and killed him near their house on Rosewood Drive. Jay Lynn, who was a minor at the time, pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact and was sentenced to 6 years in a juvenile facility. As for Jones, the 19-year-old later pleaded guilty to more serious charges of murder and possession of a weapon. At his sentencing, the victim's mother spoke emotionally, with the victim's father, Willie Fields Sr., standing beside her.
Your Honor, I just want to let you know just what they took from me. They took away my only child. It's been so hard.
Eventually, it became too much for the grieving father.
I would do the same thing. Beat the shit out of him.
Field Sr. charged towards his son's killer and hit him with a well-placed punch, knocking the defendant to the ground.
That's what he
As
gets.
Jones collapsed, Field Sr. continued to deliver blows. Deputies rushed over and pulled him away. Jones tried to get one back, but was quickly apprehended. Field Sr. later faced assault and battery charges. As for Jones, he was ultimately sentenced to 35 years in prison for killing Willie Fields Jr. While Lindy Jones got a fistful of justice delivered, what happens when a brother attacks his brother in court?
That's what I'm saying. Like, some of this stuff's weird. Like, one person can kill somebody and they get 35 years with possibility of parole, maybe. Then another person kills somebody, they get death penalty. Another one gets life without parole. It's crazy. Like they say there's guidelines, but apparently there isn't guidelines. It's almost like the judge just sets whatever they want to set, you know? It's crazy.
Like in the case of Quinn Bowes, who's charged with the death of his toddler in Indiana. According to reports, Bowes is accused of killing his 11-week-old son at their home in Gibson County. The 23-year-old initially told authorities the child had
and his own brother goes after him. I don't blame him.
Stopped breathing after falling from his bed. However, an investigation revealed that the infant died from blunt force trauma to the head. Bowes eventually pleaded guilty to domestic battery, resulting in death. Then something shocking happened at his sentencing. A heavily shackled Bowes was leaving the courtroom when he was met with a flurry of punches. The attacker was Bowes' brother and the baby's uncle, Jeremiah Hartley. Hartley was immediately arrested. He was given 179 days in jail for contempt and faces additional misdemeanor battery charges.
Dude, I wouldn't even.
As for Bowes, he was ultimately sentenced to 25 years in prison for murdering his son. While Quinn Bowes got brotherly justice for his horrific crimes, what happens when a victim attacks his attacker?
Victim attacks his attacker. Yeah, let him do it. Give him an opportunity. Let him stab him a couple times. Yeah, let the victim get some justice.
Like in the case of Eric McCullough, who was on trial for murder in Chattanooga, Tennessee. In July 2015, McCullough allegedly stabbed his niece Taisha to death outside an apartment and injured her boyfriend Antoine Lee after he came to her aid. The 46-year-old was arrested and charged with criminal homicide. At his trial, Lee, who was in custody on an unrelated charge, was asked to testify. And suddenly...
Oh, shit.
As Lee crossed the courtroom, he lunged at McCullough and rained punches on him. 4 officers grabbed the attacker and tackled him to the ground. One of them even pulled out a taser.
We've got some folks out in the hallway who are out of control too, so watch them.
Sergeant Jackson, Central Patrol, we're going to be bringing those 2 inmates back. I need the jail locked down. Stop all inmate movement. Assume emergency traffic.
Need the jail
After the courtroom was
down.
cleared, the chaos spilled into the hallway, prompting a total lockdown. In the end, Lee pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and was sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in prison. As for McCullough, he was later convicted of voluntary manslaughter and faced 3 to 6 years in prison, while Eric McCullough got a taste of his own.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so he killed somebody. He didn't shoot him with a gun. He stabbed her to death. He gets 3 to 6 years? What? See, this is that's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Medicine, what happens when a grieving father attacks the defendant?
Take him.
Like in the case of Deshaun Brown, who is facing trial for double murder in Hamilton County, Ohio. In December 2020, Brown reportedly stabbed and killed his 29-year-old girlfriend, Nitisha Lattimore, at an apartment on Melrose Avenue. He later dumped her body near the Purple People Bridge and threw her son Nilo into the river alive. His body was never found. Brown was arrested and charged with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, and gross abuse of a corpse.
That is crazy. Man, I know some crazy females. We got some crazy dudes out here, too.
Nitisha's father and the child's grandfather said Brown deserved no mercy for his actions.
Deshaun Brown deserves nothing less than the death penalty. That's exactly what you deserve. No mercy at all.
Facing the death penalty, Brown appeared in court, where the father of the 3-year-old toddler decided to take matters into his own hands.
There you go. There you go. Get a couple hits on him.
During the hearing, Tonio Hughes was sitting at the back of the courtroom wearing all black. As the proceedings were wrapping up, Hughes sneaked up to the defendant and repeatedly punched him in the head.
Hey, props to the cop in the back, man. The cop in the back seen him going up there. She didn't even bother to move. At least they let him get a couple hits in. That's what I'm saying, man. Just let him get a couple hits in. It ain't gonna make everything better, but it'll make the family feel somewhat better to get a couple shots in.
2 deputies wrestled him to the ground, but Hughes was not done.
Taking it. No, come with me. All right,
It took half a dozen deputies to get a hold of the aggrieved father.
Let's see. Look at it. You good? Hey, chill out.
I'm good.
Finally, Hughes was restrained and taken out of the courtroom. He later served 4 days in prison for contempt of court. As for Brown, he is set to go to trial in 2025. While Deshaun Brown faced the wrath of a victim's father in court, what happens when a victim's family member lunges at the defendant?
You don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhood to take people out.
Like in the case of 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, who was on trial for mass murder in Buffalo, New York. On May 14th, 2022.
I hate to say this, and this might be true, y'all. I don't know. We'll have to finish watching this video. But it sounds like this might have been a racial mass murder type thing. And as much as I hate to say it, man, I know racism isn't as quite as prevalent as it used to be, but it still exists, unfortunately. Like, I know white people to fucking hate black people. I know some black people to fucking hate white people. I know some black people to hate Mexicans. I mean, that shit still exists. Not to the large degree it used to, but man, why can't people just understand we're all human? We're all human. Doesn't matter where you come from, what color you are, we're all human. We all have the same feelings. We all wear the same clothes. We have the same blood. I mean, come on. And I don't know if that's was the case, but that's what this is sounding like was the case. This might have been a racial thing.
Gendron allegedly carried out a mass shooting at Tops Friendly Markets on the east side of Buffalo. He live-streamed part of the attack on Twitch, a video streaming platform. First, Gendron was seen getting into his tactical gear. Upon reaching his destination, Gendron can be heard saying, "Just gotta go for it."
Man, he's trying to do Call of Duty live. He's doing Call of Duty for real. I think he took Call of Duty a little too far.
And this is the end.
Just gotta go for it, man.
And the live stream it. That's crazy.
What happened next left the whole nation shocked.
He shot a lot of people up in there. Oh my God. Wow. He a terrorist or something? Yo, he gotta be a terrorist. Wow. Walk in, man. They gonna shot me, man. Yep.
Twitch.
Dude, this dude's making us white people look bad, man. It's crazy, man. We're not all like that, I promise. But look, you got crazy people in every race. You got crazy black people, you got crazy white people, crazy Mexicans. You got crazy people in every group. So don't just think because one of them's crazy doesn't mean they're all crazy, you know? Same thing with black people, you know. Now, here's some of the ignorant shit that I've heard, okay? Let's just be real. You know, I've heard some white people say, "Oh, well, you know, like say they'll see like a black dude like rob somebody and they're like, "Oh, they're all like that." No. That's not the case. They're not all like that, okay? Just because one dude is like that don't group everybody into it, okay? And that would be the same situation here. Don't group us all in. We're not all like this kid, okay? We're not all trying to do Call of Duty live on Twitch.
shut down the live stream within minutes, but the damage was already done. The world had glimpsed the horror unfolding in real time. Police arrived at the scene within minutes, but by that time, 10 people had already lost their lives, and a further 3 were injured. All the victims were African Americans. Dispatch called.
Dang, that was definitely a racial thing. He definitely playing that. Shit, man. Why? As much as I hate to say it, guys, racism still exists. It does.
Captured the horrors that unfolded that day.
We're going to update possible active shooter at the top. There are still shots being fired. We got at least 3 people down on the ground. I can't tell you about shooting. This might be an individual with body armor. PD have them about 20 feet out. Their security guard just gave us 2 people down so far. PD's got them cornered. Looks like 3 people face down at least. We have bodies down here.
And nobody carrying a firearm in that store? See, this is why people need to have concealed weapons of some type. I don't even care if it's a 22 caliber. Okay, 22 can do some damage if it's shot in the right place, you know? It's better to have something than nothing. You know, a 380 would be even great. 380 is nice, compact, that you can conceal, carry in your purse or carry in your backpack, carry in your pocket. Man, it's hard to believe that out of all the people in that store, nobody had a firearm on them. They couldn't have tried to take this dude out. I don't know. This is why everybody just needs to have guns, man. If you're not a convicted felon, everybody should be walking around with a firearm, man.
Also, we're going to need some officers inside the top because we have numerous bodies and we have magazines and bullets and everything.
Gendron surrendered without any resistance and was subsequently arrested.
To see that sense of security shattered by an individual, a white supremacist who has engaged in an act of terrorism and will be prosecuted as such.
See, that's the kind of shit, though. And he might be right. He might be a white supremacist, most likely, judging by this. But then it makes all of us look bad. But then it's like the same thing, you know, then black people, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into the racial bullshit. But there's good people in each category. There's bad people in each category. This is one of our bad people, y'all. If you're white and you're watching this, he's one of the bad apples. He's making us all look bad.
Calling it an act of terrorism, authorities said Gendron initially tried to kill himself, but was talked out of it by officers.
He worked his way back towards the front of the store. Buffalo police immediately respond, engage the suspect in the vestibule of the store. And at that point, the suspect put the gun to his own neck. Buffalo police personnel, 2 patrol officers, talked the suspect into dropping the gun. He dropped the gun, took off some of his tactical gear, surrendered at that point.
At his trial, the prosecution argued that Gendron had tried to start a race war.
He drove over 200 miles out of his way with one mission, with one goal, to kill as many black people as possible. Damn. During that 3-hour drive, he could have turned around, but he wouldn't be deterred. He was steadfast to accomplish his goal of killing as many black people as possible and starting a race war.
They also said Gendron targeted the area, which is predominantly a black neighborhood. Gendron also canvassed the area and made drawings of the supermarket prior to the attack. 2 days before the attack, Gendron posted online a 180-page manifesto that described his motives and showed his support for white supremacism. The assault rifle used by Gendron was also littered with racist slurs and names of individuals who had previously carried out similar attacks. Eventually, Gendron...
Question is, where do these people come up with this stuff? Like, where are they getting this crap from? I mean, they're not teaching it in schools. And, you know, that's like the high school I went to here in Jacksonville, Florida. It was predominantly black. Like, I was the minority in school. I actually prefer it that way, man, because, look, some people are going to hate me for this, but I'd rather be around a bunch of black people than white people, man. White people, especially the uppity white people that think their nose they think they're better than everybody. Their shit don't stink kind of attitude. Nah, man. I like being around people that are down to earth, that have to work for a living, that know what it's like to struggle, you know? Because that's where I was. That's where I've been. Not quite there now, but I'm not rich, but I'm doing all right. But I can't do these snooty white people, man. I can't do them. Just they think they're better than everybody, dude. But where is he getting this from? Like, where is this coming from? That's what I want to know because they're not teaching this in schools. Where would he? I wonder if like maybe were his parents like this? I don't know. I always wonder where this kind of stuff is coming from. Where this hatred is coming from.
Pleaded guilty to all charges related to murder, domestic terrorism, and hate crimes. At his sentencing, emotionally charged family members of the victims directly addressed their loved one's killer.
We find strength in knowing that her legacy will outlive you. You will simply go from a name to a number. You will be herded like cattle. You will be shut away from the world. You will not enjoy family events. You will not enjoy outings with friends. You will be nameless and faceless, and we feel sorry for you. We pity you even. Your life was meaningless before May 14th, 2022, and you woke up every day feeling small.
I don't wish the death penalty. Yeah. I wish they keep you alive, so you have to suffer with the thought of what you did for the rest of your life.
And trust me and believe me, these dudes can't stop me, really. I'm the littlest thing in here and very agile, but I don't want to hurt you.
However, one family member decided to take matters into his own hands.
He said he was going to think about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in those neighborhoods and take people out. Don't do it.
Let him get some hits in on him.
As the woman addressed Gendron, the man charged at the defendant, but
I think that should be mandatory, man. If family member, they lost their family members, man. If they go charging at them, I think it should just be a mandatory rule. Not even mandatory. It could be like a secret rule between just the cops and the security guards and the judge. If somebody starts to charge towards the defendant, don't move for about 30 seconds. Let them get a few hits in. It'll make the family members feel a little bit better. It ain't going to heal them right away, but it damn sure make them feel better.
Was quickly detained and escorted out of the courtroom. Gendron was later given a chance to address the court, where he showed remorse and apologized to the victims' families.
It's a little late for that.
For stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th.
He seems like a freaking weirdo. He almost seems like a pedophile, y'all. He seems like that kind of a weirdo. Just from the way he's talking.
I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it. I believed what I read online and acted out of hate. And now I can't take it back, but I wish I...
Where's he reading this stuff? See, that's where we need to get. See, that's where I wonder if they even checked into that. Like, they need to find, where is he reading this stuff at? Because I wouldn't even know where to go to look to find some stupid crap like that. See, this is what happens when you got kids that got way too much time on their hands, man. Way too much time.
I could. And I don't want anyone to be inspired by me and what I did.
But the judge showed him no mercy.
There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. There can be no mercy for you, no understanding, no second chances.
No.
The damage you have caused is too great, and the people you have hurt
are too valuable to this community. You will never see the light of day as a free man ever again. It is the judgment of this court for your conviction under the first count of the indictment, a domestic act of terrorism motivated by hate in the first degree, an A1 felony, that you be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole.
Ultimately, Gendron was sentenced to life in prison without any hope for parole. While Peyton Gendron felt the fury of a grieving family member, what happens when a defendant gets attacked in front of a judge?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system works.
Like in the case of Larry Nassar, who's facing multiple sexual abuse charges in Michigan.
Dude, that dad was old and he can't run, but he said, I'm going to get some hits in.
Nassar, who served as the team doctor for USA Gymnastics, was accused of sexually assaulting hundreds of young gymnasts under the guise of medical treatment, many of whom were Olympians. Police said Nassar manipulated the athletes into believing he was their trusted friend and advisor.
Sexually assault. So he was the medical doctor for the USA. Was this like the Olympic teams? Or just some regular gymnastics team? That's crazy. And he sexually assaulted all these daughters, man. Yeah. If that happened to my daughter, man, I'd be getting some hits in. But shoot. I don't know. How long was he doing this, I wonder?
Have to protect your athletes. You have to let them know that we care. You have to not let them know, but let them feel it. Let them.
What? That just sounds weird. You have to let them understand it. You have to let them know. You have to let them feel it. Really? Look, man, I know this is going to sound bad, okay? But what is he telling these girls that he can sexually assault them? Like, is he telling them, what the fuck is he doing? That just seems so weird. I wonder how long this went on for.
Breathe it.
Nassar was brought in for questioning, where he claimed he was in fact the victim.
And he looks like a weirdo. He looks like he would be a pedophile.
It's my self-torture, I guess you could say that. Yes, she was victimized. Yes, I was victimized to myself.
Instead, Nassar...
He's a narcissist. She was victimized, but I was also victimized. I was the victim here, not them. These are young girls. Holy shit. Dude, he's gonna have I assume he's in prison now. Boy, those are charges you don't want to go to prison with. You don't want to go to prison for rape or sexual assault or being a pedophile, man. They will kill you in a microsecond.
Blamed the young women he victimized, saying they should have said something sooner.
If she was feeling violated in any way, shape, and form, there was no communication.
Okay. Nassar also defended his medical procedures.
If you don't have patient confidence and patient trust, you would have been having my in here how many times?
Right.
Okay, especially when I'm doing this on 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, okay, with their parents there. But I'm obviously doing a doggone good job explaining things, okay, because what?
However, authorities botched up the investigation and Nassar was released. But as more and more victims came forward, Nassar once again faced the music.
Dang, so they had him one time. They had him one time before, and they let him go. So he'd been doing this for a while.
I'm just confused right now.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that we did have another complaint.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a patient from a while ago. Do you ever get aroused during these exams?
I shouldn't be getting an erection during an exam.
Right. Well, this is why I'm talking to you about this, because this young girl and her mother both observed this on more than one occasion during treatment.
Nassar again tried to defend his actions and played the victim card, but this time his game was up.
If there was arousal, it's. I mean, like it would be because of whatever. I don't know, but I'm not trying to. You know,
whatever. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
No, I'm not buying that, y'all. Okay. That would be like me saying, that'd be me like saying I hug my daughter, but I get aroused. That's just fucking nasty. No, I'm not buying that one bit.
When you're a guy,
Does not
sometimes you get an
happen.
erection. It's like blindsiding someone. You know what I mean? It's like if you're doing this and you're doing it for good to help someone, and they're giving you the positive feedback that you're helping them, how do I know I'm hurting them?
Eventually, Nassar pleaded guilty to multiple charges of criminal sexual conduct. At his sentencing, over 150 victims gave powerful emotional testimonies.
What kind of a person?
150 women, or girls, I should say. Dang.
Person has the audacity to sexually assault a child in front of their mother.
I will be out in the real world, thriving, empowering, and standing by others, while you rot in a prison cell the rest of your life.
A victim described how Nassar destroyed her family.
You used my body for 6 years for your own sexual gratification. That is unforgivable. You convinced my parents that I was a liar. My father and I did our best to patch up our tattered relationship before he committed suicide in 2016.
The mother of one of the victims also spoke on behalf of her now deceased daughter.
In 2009, she took her own life.
Dang, so he messed some of these girls up so bad that they committed suicide. Shit. Man, this guy's no good. He's a piece of shit.
Because she couldn't deal with the pain anymore.
However, nobody could have imagined what was to follow when the father of a victim asked the judge to address Nassar directly.
You saw.
In a courtroom, we don't use profanity, but if you have some words that you would like to say,
Let him say
I
whatever
would
he
like
wants.
to give you the opportunity to say
I
them.
would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
I have
Would
a
you
feeling
do that?
that is not how
Yes or
our.
no?
No, sir, I can't.
Would you give me 1 minute?
Yes, 1 minute.
Denied, he decided to take matters into his own hands.
I don't blame
You know
him.
that I can't do that. That's not how our legal
Well,
system
I'm gonna have
works.
to take
Man, let him get a couple of hits in.
The grieving father was arrested and taken away by court officers. Then, Judge Rosemary Aquilina tore into the defendant.
Because, sir, you do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. It is my honor and privilege to sentence you.
Eventually, it was time for the disgraced doctor to learn his fate.
Sir, I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I just signed your death warrant.
Ultimately, Nassar was sentenced to 175 years in prison for his crimes. While Larry Nassar faced a father's
Why
fury in
even say
court,
that? Just say
what happens when an
life.
all-out brawl breaks out between the victims and the defendants' families? Like in the case of Frank DeLeon Jr., who's on trial for his teenage girlfriend's murder in Houston, Texas. DeLeon was just 17 when he allegedly shot and killed 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez and left her body in a park. Police said the teenager was shot 22 times in the chest and back.
The victim in this case is a 16-year-old child who was shot 22 times, mostly in the back.
DeLeon was arrested and charged with
Dang, he wanted to make sure she was dead. Holy shit.
first-degree intentional homicide. To avoid a trial, he decided to take a plea deal.
De Leon is being charged with murder. His bond was set at $250,000. We did find out he lives with his parents, and the only time he spoke in court today was to ask the judge if he could go back to school.
At his sentencing, tensions ran high between the victims and the defendants' families.
My daughter, not to hurt my daughter.
However, when Alvarez's mother, Ana Machado, tried to confront her daughter's killer, all hell broke loose.
There you go. Yeah, get some hits in. Get some hits in. Get some hits in. Come on.
After an emotional impact statement, Machado walked towards De Leon, but was stopped by a deputy. Then, out of nowhere, a man in a blue and white t-shirt flashed across the courtroom. It was Alvarez's uncle, who seized on the distraction, jumped in, and punched the defendant in the face. As the situation went out of control, the judge made a run for it. The chaos continued. Now it was De Leon's mom who ran to her son's defense. Then another woman ran over, tackled De Leon's mom to the ground, and unleashed a flurry of blows. Finally, deputies were able to gain control of the courtroom. Machado later apologized for her courtroom outburst.
It was wrong of me. That was wrong of us because we're not monsters. But it's so much hate because I want my daughter back. And what he did wasn't horrible. Seeing my daughter there and looking at him that he did that and he's laughing in my face. It was very wrong, and I'm so sorry for that.
The brawl also led to the escape of another defendant in a separate case. Michael Devin Combs took advantage of the chaos and slipped out of the holding area.
Some kind of way, he got out of the shackles, and he walked out of the courtroom, and once he got out of the building, he took off his ankle monitor.
Ultimately, De Leon was sentenced to 45 years in prison as part of his plea agreement. He will have to serve at least half his sentence before being eligible for parole. While Frank De Leon Jr. felt the rage of a grieving mother, what happens when a victim's brother lunges?
See what I mean? Here again. He killed somebody. He's got the eligibility for parole, and then some of them don't have eligibility. Some of them only get 6 years, like that one dude. It's crazy.
Hey, I'll sit here and I'll go to these hearings and I'll behave myself, but I'm expecting you, criminal justice system, to do the right thing. Put this guy away. Give him what he deserves.
Like in the case of James Douglas Gonzalez, who's on trial for murder in Mobile, Alabama. Back in 1992, Gonzalez arrived at a party where he reportedly shot and killed 18-year-old Matthew Hall after getting into an altercation. Gonzalez later claimed he shot Matthew in self-defense. At his trial, the victim's father, Matthew Hall Sr., and younger brother, Kevin, waited anxiously in the gallery for the jury to return with their decision. Eventually, the jury returned and found Gonzalez guilty of a lesser misdemeanor charge of criminally negligent homicide. Feeling that he was robbed of justice, Kevin Hall decided to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, get him.
Without a warning, Kevin jumped from his seat, leaped over a barricade, and charged at the defendant, landing a punch to his face. His father, Hall Sr., soon joined the fray. It took several officers and onlookers to subdue the two. Spectators were left shaken. Gonzalez's mother and grandmother broke down. After the attack, the Halls were charged with contempt of court. The father-son duo was sentenced to 5 days in jail. As for Gonzalez, he got just 1 year in prison for the murder of Matthew Hall. While Kevin Hall decided to deliver his...
See, that's what I'm talking about. He got 1 year. He killed somebody, got 1 year. They say there's sentencing guidelines. Obviously, there isn't. That's crazy.
His version of justice, what happens when a victim's brother decides to take matters into his own hands? Like in the case of Tristan Lamoureux, who's facing murder charges in Cedar City, Utah. In 2009, Lamoureux reportedly shot his wife, 19-year-old Misty Lamoureux, several times in the head, instantly killing her. When police arrived, they found Misty's body in the bathroom and arrested Lamoureux after he tried to flee the scene. Instead of going to trial, the 24-year-old pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. Now at his sentencing, Misty's brother Jason Wilson was called to stand to deliver his victim impact statement. While Wilson addressed the court, the situation became more and more tense as he spoke about the impact his sister's murder had on his family. An emotional Wilson then turned his attention towards the defendant, even making a step towards him. The court bailiffs, sensing Wilson was becoming increasingly overcome with emotion, cautiously stepped in. But the grieving brother had other ideas. As the bailiffs approached him, Wilson ran behind the attorney's table and tried to take a swing at Lamoureux. But before he could reach the defendant, the bailiffs sprang into action and tackled both Wilson and Lamoureux to the ground. Wilson was restrained and removed from the courtroom. He faced no additional charges.
That's why I said they need to be it doesn't even have to be like a written rule, just like a silent rule between the judges and the court staff and the officers. If a victim's family member goes at the defendant, give him wait about 30 seconds. Let him get a couple of hits in.
Charges. After the dust settled, the courtroom was put back in order and the sentencing continued. Eventually, Lamoureux was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for killing his wife. While Tristan Lamoureux almost felt a grieving brother's fury, what happens when a baby girl's father decides to take revenge? Like in the case of Clifford Thomas and Jasmine Gordon, who were accused of abusing a child to death in Detroit, Michigan. In September 2014, Thomas was babysitting Gordon's 3-year-old toddler, Jamila, when the child suddenly became unresponsive. Little Jamila was taken to the hospital where doctors pronounced her dead on arrival and found bruises all over her body, showing signs of physical abuse.
This child had over 50 injuries, and they were at various stages of healing. Had several impacts all over her head. In fact, there was hemorrhaging between the scalp and the bones of this child.
Police arrested both Gordon and her boyfriend Thomas and charged them with Jamila's death. Gordon was eventually convicted of involuntary manslaughter and first-degree child abuse, while the jury found Thomas guilty of involuntary manslaughter and resisting arrest. However, at their sentencing, things got out of control. As Jamila's biological father, Dwayne Smith, got up to make a victim impact statement, he attacked Thomas from behind with a well-placed punch. Thomas tried to get one back, but the alert deputies stepped in and separated the two. The courtroom was cleared and sentencing was rescheduled for a later date. Ultimately, Gordon was sentenced to a minimum of 14 years in prison, while Thomas got another 58 months in jail for their role in baby Jamila's death. Clifford Thomas painfully faced the fist of justice. But what happens when the victim's entire family starts a brawl? For that, we head to Louisville, Kentucky, where the preliminary hearing of 30-year-old Jalen Forrest is underway.
Hey, I would love to see a whole family get on top of him and beat the shit out of him. Let's see if they
September
make
18th,
it.
2023, 30-year-old Forrest assaulted and strangled his stepfather, Victor Anderson Sr., at an apartment in St. Denis. Police said the 59-year-old suffered from fractured ribs, a broken jaw, and manual strangulation. Forrest, who made no attempt to flee, was arrested and charged with murder and domestic violence. Now in court, the prosecutor called Detective Williams Burns to the stand.
Detective Burns, were you involved in investigating a homicide that occurred on September 18th, 2023 at 4523 Broadleaf Drive?
I was.
However, as the detective answered the prosecutor's questions, a fight broke out in the gallery.
They then made contact with a property manager or a maintenance.
Excuse me. Please don't let that happen again.
Don't look back here. Turn your mother.
Ma'am.
Judge, should we clear the courtroom?
Yes. No, just ma'am. I'm sorry if you're not able to. You're excused.
Judge Yvette De La Guardia asked the woman to leave, but she doubled down and accused Forrest of killing her father.
Killed my handicapped daddy. Him. Right. And your dad.
Even as the judge asked everyone to maintain order, the situation just got worse.
Ma'am.
You sick.
I don't know what I'm going through.
Sir?
Don't know what he's going through.
At one point, Detective Burns even attempted to leave the witness box to calm the situation. As things got out of hand, Judge De La Guardia threatened to hold those acting out in contempt of court.
Go! Leave! Cool off, you guys, go! Step outside! Cool off!
I know what I'm going
He said you don't know what I'm going through.
I know this is hard. Step outside or I'm gonna hold you all in contempt. Go! I'm gonna clear the courtroom. Everyone step outside for a second. I want the attorneys to approach. Everyone is excused at this time.
After the judge ordered the courtroom to be emptied, the chaos spilled out into the hallway. Deputies eventually had to use pepper spray to stop the fight. 4 people were arrested. In the end, the hearing did continue, with the defendant Forrest returning to jail under a $250,000 cash bond. While Jalen Forrest faced the wrath of his victim's family, what happens when a defendant swings at an innocent bystander? Like in the case of David St. John, who was facing multiple charges, including aggravated sexual assault in Houston, Texas. As per reports, St. John took a teenage girl to a motel and sexually assaulted her at gunpoint. At the time of the incident, St. John was already awaiting trial for 3 other crimes, including possession of the pistol he used during the alleged assault. Now in court, as the judge was seemingly distracted with another issue, St. John did something outrageous.
After you sign the order.
Did you know you're
He kept repeating, "Did you learn your lesson?" before punching a man in the face. Fortunately, St. John was quickly subdued by an officer. As he was being cuffed, St. John continued to offer advice.
Sit down, man. Sit down.
I'm learning your lesson.
Hey!
I'm fine. What was that? No, you need to learn your lesson so you don't end up like me.
Get up.
It was unclear why St. John attacked the man, but before leaving the courtroom, he had one final word of wisdom.
I think that's for your good, son. Don't end up like me.
Fortunately for St. John, the man did not press any charges. However, St. John pled guilty to his original charges and was sentenced to 2 25-year sentences. While David St. John's crazy courtroom behavior certainly shocked everyone, what happens when a defendant lunges at the prosecutor?
It was a very aggressive and threatening stance and step toward the prosecution table.
Like in the case of Nicholas Tuinstra, who's on trial for 2 murders in Berlin, Wisconsin. In 2014, 33-year-old Tuinstra allegedly killed his estranged wife, Melissa, and her new boyfriend, Justin Daniels, outside of an apartment complex. Police said Melissa had just filed for a divorce from Tuinstra and started dating Daniels. A passerby discovered the bodies and made a frantic 911 call.
There's someone laying right outside Eskimo Comfort with blood all over.
Have you tried to talk to her or anything?
Oh, there's nothing.
Okay.
Blood.
There's a lot of blood.
She was located right outside on the sidewalk. Officers responding to the scene found the female in a pool of blood.
See, y'all, this is why I stay single. You never know when you're gonna get a crazy ex, crazy, whether it's a crazy boyfriend, girlfriend, whether you're male or female. You just never know. You get someone crazy like this. That's insane.
Police also issued a statewide Amber Alert when 8-year-old Relaine went missing after her mother was shot dead. She was later found at her grandparents' house along with her father, Nicholas Tuinstra, who was arrested and charged with the murders. At the trial, the prosecution argued that the murders were cold-blooded and premeditated.
In each victim, there were 2 in the head. All of the shots were from behind. The defendant, while claiming to investigators on Sunday that he had never been to 203 Broadway Street, changed his story on Tuesday, admitted he had been there during the time frame of the homicides.
Tuinstra was eventually convicted of first-degree intentional homicide and stalking resulting in bodily harm. During sentencing, family members of the victims addressed their loved one's killer.
I hoped that he was not allowed to see her.
Murdered 2 people.
because his ego was bruised.
If you, Nick, loved Melissa like you said you did, why did you kill her?
However, things got ugly
Yeah,
when the
for real.
prosecutor mentioned that Twinstra often abused his wife in front of their daughter.
Elaine witnessed the defendant abuse her mother.
I did not touch her. Never. One time I stuck her nails. That was it. That was the only.
After Twinstra lost it and lunged at the prosecutor, several deputies removed him from the courtroom. A few minutes later, a much calmer Twinstra returned to the courtroom and apologized.
I apologize for the outburst to the prosecution. My daughter is a very sensitive subject.
But the prosecution was having none of it.
It was a very aggressive and threatening stance and step toward the prosecution table.
The judge also condemned Twinstra before declaring his fate.
There is no remorse by the defendant. He continues to blame others.
Even though Twinstra was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms with no hope of parole, he maintained his innocence.
There is a lot more truth out there, but I'll have to wait for appeals that people were not aware of.
Twinstra did indeed file an appeal, but his conviction was later upheld. While Nicholas Twinstra showed remorse for his actions, what happens when an all-out brawl breaks out in court?
I want you out of here now. I won't ask you a second time. I won't ask you now.
For that, we go to the Marion County Judicial Center in Ocala, Florida, where 20-year-old Travis Davis, 23-year-old Keela Richardson, 22-year-old Brandon Banks, and 21-year-old Kelvin Grimmage were all convicted of first-degree murder. 2 years earlier, the 4 gunmen gunned down 28-year-old Courtney London inside his home, right in front of his children. After the guilty verdict, the 4 defendants were now in court to learn their fate.
Any legal reason we shouldn't proceed with sentencing today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So what I indicated that I would like to do is to have the gentleman.
Suddenly, all hell broke loose.
Oh boy.
Hang on, Mr. Davis.
What happened? Beat the shit out of him.
While the judge read their sentences, a deputy attempted to cuff Travis Davis, but he refused to cooperate. A second deputy jumped in to assist, while another attempted to handcuff Grimmage. But the murderers were not going down without a fight. Amongst the chaos, Richardson was handcuffed and removed from the courtroom. Meanwhile, Davis started attacking his lawyer, delivering blow after blow to his head. Failing to regain any control, a deputy pulled out a taser and zapped the remaining 3 defendants, including Banks, who didn't even join the melee. The deputy then ordered everyone to clear the courtroom. After the dust settled, the defendants said their farewells. Ultimately, all 4 suspects were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While Travis Davis and his buddies got the shock of their lives, what happens when a victim's father loses it in court?
You kept shooting him in his back! His back was turned to you, man!
Like in the case of Lucas Kendall, who's facing murder charges in Miami, Florida. In 2012, while working as a security guard at Club Lex, Kendall spotted 2 men taking drugs in the parking lot. The 26-year-old approached them and a confrontation took place. Kendall then unleashed a barrage of bullets on the 2 black men, killing 29-year-old Kejuan Bird and severely injuring his friend Michael Smathers, which left him permanently paralyzed from the waist down. Kendall was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. To evaluate his competency, Kendall was moved from the prison to a mental hospital, and his lawyer wanted to keep him there.
And then the issue is that you want him housed where?
At the same facility he's been housed.
In order to prevent him from decompensating?
Yes, Your Honor. He eventually decompensated to the point where he was sitting in a fetal position, naked, not eating, and not interacting with any human being.
This is when things got crazy.
Yeah, my son is dead, man. My son is dead. He need to go to prison. He don't need to be laying no mental hospital. He need to go to prison, man. Come on, sir. He want to play crazy. He wasn't crazy when he killed my son, man. He wasn't crazy then, but he's crazy now. All of a sudden, he's crazy now. You want to lay in a mental hospital?
The request to prevent Kendall from returning to jail became too much for the victim's father, Donald Bird.
You don't murder my son, man, for nothing. When he was trying to get away from you. You were trying to get away from you, man. And you kept shooting him while his back was under the truck. You kept shooting him, man. You kept shooting him in his back. His back was turned to you, man. He was trying to get away from you. And you murdered him, man, like that. You murdered him, man, like that. Why you doing it like that, man? And you want to play crazy, man. You ain't crazy. You ain't crazy, man.
He ain't crazy.
The distraught father was escorted out of the courtroom, and Kendall was eventually deemed competent to stand trial.
Well, the first thing we needed to address is he's been restored to competency.
Correct, Your Honor. There are 2 evaluations from Dr. Luis Quintana and Dr. Richardson. They both find that he's competent.
Kendall told the court he didn't want a lawyer and decided to represent himself.
How is it that you expect to represent yourself?
I'm not going to represent myself. I refuse to participate in the charade.
I would advise you to do
I refuse to participate in the charade.
I don't want a trial. This is a charade.
Okay.
At his trial, Kendall attempted to use Florida's Stand Your Ground statute as his defense.
So the trajectory coming from outside of the vehicle would have to come in that downward.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
But it failed to convince the jury, as Kendall was ultimately convicted of all charges and sentenced to life in prison without any chance of parole. While Lucas Kendall faced a grieving father's fury, what happens when 2 men attack a killer? Like in the case of 26-year-old Wendell McNeil, who's facing murder charges in Syracuse, New York. McNeil, who was out of prison on a work release, was arrested after he stabbed 24-year-old Alan Michael Walker to death at his apartment in the early hours of February 6th, 2022. Facing a possible sentence of 25 years to life in prison if convicted, McNeil decided to plead guilty to second-degree manslaughter. Now at his sentencing, McNeil was addressing Judge Gordon Cuffey when suddenly...
Who's hitting who?
Two grieving men sitting in the gallery rushed past security and tried to get their hands on their loved one's killer. However, court officers apprehended them in the nick of time. After the 2 were cuffed and removed from the courtroom, McNeil learned his fate: 7.5 to 15 years in prison.